Good morning and welcome to another Hump Day Hallelujah. I'm Pastor Scott coming to you from Ascension Lutheran Church in Citrus Heights. And during the season of Lent, we didn't have these Hump Day Hallelujah, so we skipped 7 of them because we were providing you with daily videos for the entire season of Lent. 40 daily videos, not including Sundays. And now during the season of Easter, these Hump Day Hallelujahs have resumed, but they're going to be different than they were prior to Lent. For these next 7 weeks, these next 7 Wednesdays, you're not going to be hearing from me. You're going to be hearing from other members of the congregation as they share a little bit about their story. Our theme during Lent was God's story, our story. And now that we have moved through Lent into the season of Easter, we're going to hear from you, other members of this congregation who are going to share how God's story has impacted their story. And they're going to share a bit about that with you in these moments each Wednesday. I hope you enjoy hearing these stories. I hope you appreciate the courage that these folks are displaying by sharing a part of themselves and a part of their story and their faith journey. And we will resume the typical traditional Hump Day Hallelujahs after Pentecost. Thanks for spending a part of this day with me and with the person who's going to be sharing with us today. Take care.
Happy Hump Day Hallelujah. My name is Cynthia Hannum, and today I'm going to share with you a chapter of my story. I am a lifelong Lutheran, and so like many of you growing up in the Lutheran Church, I attended worship and Bible studies and Sunday school, vacation Bible school, Luther League, and potlucks and music and all kinds of those things. And my husband and I moved around the country a bit, and I almost found a church where I could participate at least on some level. In the late 80s, we found ourselves moving to the Sacramento area and found a home in Citrus Heights. And shortly thereafter, I started looking for a church for us. And when I attended Ascension Lutheran Church, I felt the first day that this seems like a place where we would fit in. And so as we began our journey at Ascension Lutheran Church, we participated in the worship services, the Bible studies, and all the congregational life events that happened during that time. After we had been members for 2 or 3 years, the church called an associate pastor, and a big part of his call letter was to establish Stephen ministry here at Ascension. When the congregation talked about that, I had never heard of it. I didn't know anything about it. But the ones who wanted him to do that were very, very excited at the prospect of having it come here. After he'd been here about a year or so and had completed training in order to teach Stephen ministry, he started recruiting for his first class. And one day he came to me and told me he thought that Stephen ministry would be a good thing for me to do, and that I would do well and that I would enjoy it. And so I considered that, and from what I could hear, it sounded great. It was a lay caregiving ministry, and you learned how to listen and how to just walk with people as they journey through difficult times. I thought, yes, that sounds like something I could do. Then I started reading about what was involved, and it was a big ask. The minimum commitment was 2 years, beginning with months of weekly 2.5-hour classes, after which we'd be commissioned, and then we would be assigned someone to visit, and that visit would be weekly for an hour or so. And instead of attending classes every week, now we'd be attending 2.5-hour sessions a month with continuing education and peer supervision. At this time, I was choir director at Ascension, and we were participating in worship and the Bible studies and different things as offered. But with my job, I thought maybe taking on Stephen ministry might really be difficult for me to make that commitment. I took the application from the associate pastor, and I even filled it out. But I dragged my feet turning it in, and it wasn't until the final day that was the deadline that I brought it to church, went to church and Bible study, and walked to his office and turned over the application. With kind of a big sigh, and I don't know what I'm getting into here. Then I walked into the kitchen, and the second service had already begun, so I didn't expect to see anybody, and there was a woman in the kitchen whom I knew enough to say hello to, but I didn't really know her. I could see she was troubled, and I just said something like, "Are you doing okay?" And she proceeded to tell me what was going on with her. I listened. I offered no advice. I had no words of wisdom for her, but I let her just finish telling me what she wanted to say, and she got this interesting look on her face and kind of shook her head, looked at me and said, "Thank you. Now I know what I need to do." And she said, "I'm ready to go into worship now. Thank you very much." And I just wished her a good day. But I let her go out, and then I just kind of looked upward and thought, okay, I guess I was supposed to turn in my application. So that exchange affirmed my yes to the ministry. And when I had my first class, I found myself sitting in the class and thinking, this is where I need to be. I wanted to share this story with you because going to that class changed my life and changed the trajectory of my life. And it took me a while to realize what was different. And the thing that was different was, while I had always attended different events going on at the church, I had never done ministry. And now, instead of being a member, I was doing ministry through the church. And that changed everything I did after that, and went on eventually to become parish assistant on staff here. I learned a lot about how church worked and the importance of people being able to use their spiritual gifts in meaningful ministry, because that's what I was able to do through Stephen ministry. I thank you for letting me share my story today. Have a good day.